Welcome back to Combined by Alana. I'm so happy to be back recording. I'll be honest, I had to take a couple weeks break, just life, and I needed some rest. I went upstate with my mom last week, which was beautiful. Celebrated her birthday. That was so much fun.
Happy birthday.
I wanted to actually spend this episode sharing more about something I'm currently going through with my health, and that is acid reflux, more specifically GERD, which stands for gastroesophageal reflux disease. This is something I dealt with like 6 or 7 years ago. I haven't had these symptoms since. And recently, maybe like 2 months ago, I started kind of feeling them. I thought it might have been a one-off. Of course, it wasn't. It's been going on for a couple months. And it's been really uncomfortable. If you have ever dealt with acid reflux, GERD specifically is different because you feel it in the back of your throat. It feels like there's a burning sensation. It feels like there is something stuck in the back of the throat. It feels like, you just have this, even no matter how much you eat, you have, this is gross. I'm really sorry, but you know what you're getting yourself into here. There's this bile that sort of comes up when you eat. You get this feeling of fullness from less food than I'm used to even eating. The discomfort is so awful. I went to yoga yesterday, hot yoga, something I do like 3 or 4 times a week, and I was straight up so uncomfortable. It's been a challenge. So I last week went to Gil on Thursday and I told him about this, and he gave me really awesome things that I can do to help. Of course, he is the master of deep tissue cleansing, and he said this is something that's really deep. It is deep in the tissue. It's something, it's going to be kind of tricky, but we can do it. We can get through, hopefully, and restore the tissue that's been damaged by whatever it is. I have my suspicions, but I don't want to say them out loud yet. I did one colonic with him last week on Thursday before I was leaving to go upstate on Friday, and he suggested a few things that I'm going to tell you about and walk you through and show you how I'm handling all of that. By doing that colonic, although it's not going to immediately cure my GERD, it's going to just create some movement, because as he explains, basically any food that I'm taking in, it's going down, and the stomach is supposed to expand once you take that food in. Then the problem with this is that the food, some of it is, making its way through, getting digested, and some of it is actually just going back up, which is why I'm getting this acid and this bile and stuff. It's not getting digested. I have this uncomfortable feeling right here, which is where the stomach is. Because I was going out of town, there are things that I wasn't able to incorporate until now, and I'm going to do them starting today. Of those suggestions, things that I was able to do while I was, out of town was to have, my juice every morning, specifically having a juice that consists of apple, carrot, fennel, and celery, and also doing castor oil packs. I'm going to link all of the products that I'm mentioning in the show notes, but this is the castor oil that I use. It's Palma Christi. Basically, all you have to do is rub the castor oil from the bottom of your abdomen to your pelvic bone. So like here, all over. And then I put down a small washcloth and then a hot compress over that, and you sit for 40 minutes. And what that does is it helps with lymphatic drainage. It helps to just get deep into the intestines. It's a really fabulous mechanism if you're ever having any digestive issues to use a castor oil pack. Also, I was told by him about this great coconut water brand with young Thai coconut. It is called Copra, and I found this at my local market, luckily. Another product that he suggested by them is their coconut smoothie, and I'm excited to try these because they look great. This looks delicious. But today I'm going to start something that he recommended that was a little bit more intense, which is a juice cleanse. And that juice cleanse will consist of the juice that I named before, that apple, fennel, carrot, celery, also the coconut water, the coconut smoothie if I'm dying, I guess, if I'm feeling extra hungry or, in the moment. And then just simple juice of celery and carrot. Those are the juices that I'm going to be drinking for the next. He suggested a week. I'm going to take it day by day. I am seeing him in a couple days. So on day 3, I'll be seeing him for a colonic so we can really do that deep work. Full honesty, he suggested a week juice cleanse to me before. I ended up doing one day. This was maybe 2 years ago. And it worked and I was fine. So day by day, don't tell him. Another thing he suggested that was new to me is they're called Fleet enemas. I bought the CVS brand, and he suggested that I get one of these, which are like $2.50 maybe at the pharmacy, and he suggested that I use this enema, which is something that is used in hospitals and whatnot. You can find it at any sort of pharmacy. And empty the saline solution that already comes with the enema and instead fill it with wheatgrass, 4 ounces of wheatgrass. The chlorophyll in wheatgrass is really restorative for the tissue of your gut lining and will be really healing for the gut. And so I bought some wheatgrass, 4 ounces of it. I'm going to do that for a couple of days leading up to my colonic with Gil. And then on that day, I won't do that because I won't need it. But I'm really looking forward to incorporating these tips and tricks and tools and all these things in. I've noticed that, even though I take care of my gut and my health, I pretty much notice anything that doesn't agree with me. Even though I am in touch with my body, and even though I'm quote unquote, sounds familiar, right? Doing all the right things, but really doing all the right things, really listening to what my body needs. Things happen, things come up. So I've learned through this process of incorporating food combining and learning about my body, learning what works, what doesn't, not to be too hard on myself. The self-experimentation, you have to let the ego go and realize that things will happen. It could be environmental. It could be something that just is out of your control because there is so much that's out of our control. I'm trying to not be too hard on myself because the stress of that causes inflammation and the last thing I need right now. I'm recording this first thing in the morning on the first day of my juice cleanse. I have not even eaten anything, of course, but I haven't even had my first juice because I'm going to do the enema first while I'm on an empty system and basically going to try to rid my body of whatever the heck this is. And then I'm going to have my juices that I made yesterday, my carrot and celery juice. I'll continue my day. I'll keep you posted. And I'm going to keep you posted on this entire journey and process because I love to share what works for me, especially if it's healing, because acid reflux is a real thing and a lot of people deal with it. So I'm happy to share the entire process. It is now 4 p.m. and I wanted to share my progress. I am feeling good. My stomach is feeling a little bit lighter already. Could be due to the Fleet enema, could be due to just being cool with having less. This is all about mind over matter, and I feel the shift in my mental, which I think that's important. I think a lot of times, ego gets in the way a lot, especially when it comes with food, diet, routine, and sometimes your routine or whatever you're doing isn't working for you. So it's important to reset. So this is a really good moment to reset. So I'm embracing it, taking it in, spending more time with nature. So I'm gonna go to the park and embrace it, and I'll bring a juice. So it's day 2 of my juice cleanse. I actually feel really good. I feel better than I did yesterday. I have less of a tightening in my esophagus and no burning at all in my stomach. Actually, I feel a lot lighter, which makes sense when you're having less. But I feel like all the things that I've been having, all the juices and the wheatgrass and everything is really, I feel like I can feel it taking care of my cells. Literally, I did the second wheatgrass enema this morning and I felt all of a sudden this surge of energy afterwards, which was perfect because I went to hot yoga, which I was a little nervous about, to be totally honest. I go all the time, but I went and, I was nervous that I was going to feel lethargic and whatever, but I didn't. I feel really good. I feel great now. I'm ready to take on the day. I have a tiny little headache, but I think that's from lack of caffeine, and I will keep you posted. It is officially day 3 of my juice cleanse. Last night was really hard. I got so tired. I got a pounding headache, just some detox symptoms, but also I was with friends who were eating food that was looking really good. So obviously that's hard. I love food. But I'm going to Gil. I'm going to leave in like 10 minutes, and I'm so excited to see him and to talk to him about everything I'm feeling. And I also want to get clear on like why this all even happened, just why I'm even getting all these acid symptoms when I'm eating so pure. So I'll update you. The cleanse is over. I'm done. I went to Gil. We talked about why this might have happened, how I can, aid my digestive enzymes as I continue on my process because things could come up as I'm leaning out of a fast. I can't explain the feeling that I had with this fast being over and everything that I felt on especially day 3. Days 1 and 2 were absolutely the hardest. Like I was dealing with headaches and all these heightened senses, and I felt a bit colder. You're just not having as much, so you're a little bit more sensitive to the cold. I cried a couple times on day 2. I just, everything was just heightened for me. Day 3, I woke up and maybe I will say, granted, maybe because I knew that after Gil I could be done, or maybe I was just happy that I could go get some answers from him that day. I really did feel this sense of euphoria, especially when I left. I felt like I was more in touch with myself than ever. It goes back to the thing about this life where you realize how much you don't need. You look inward, you find happiness intrinsically rather than externally. And I found that. I really, really found that. I felt such a detachment from my ego from this. And when I went to Gil, we were bonding over a cleanse in general, and just about like how pretty freaking amazing you feel from a cleanse, and just how I felt like flatter stomach, but also clearer mind. My mind felt sharper. I feel sharper now, quicker on my feet. It's pretty amazing, and a new sense of like motivation, something I haven't felt before, because you're not as slowed down by all the stuff. I got rid of all the stuff. I feel like my body's like an infant. But I just have this new zest for life again. And this always happens when I do something like this new zest for life. It just, with the simplicity of just incorporating juices, with that coconut smoothie being the heaviest meal of my day. First off, we talked about why in the world would this have happened. My suspicion that I mentioned on day 1 was that I, for like a week, truly was eating steamed beets that might have been a little oxidized. I steam a bunch of beets at once for my salad, and I believe I went out of town. I don't really know. Also say I came back. They were tasting not their freshest, but I pushed through because I was feeling lazy, and that's the truth. And it did not sit right with me. And when I told Gil about that, he was like, oh, that's got to be it, because beets are so cleansing. They are a super cleanser. So when you have something like that is oxidized and not well, if you're just having, this is really, if you're having bad fruit, bad veggies, bad produce, whatever, I mean, that is a world of acid that you're kicking up. He also said a couple other things that might happen, and this is for just anybody who's experiencing this. I wanted to share that these are other things that he mentioned. Too much apple cider vinegar, too much lemon, just too much of those acidic items. Stress could be a factor, but diet is mostly the cause. Also, if you are laying down right after you eat, or chugging water in between meals, like really drinking a lot of water, that will stall digestion. and things won't get digested. That causes the undigested food to go up, and you get that gross, food vomit. It's pretty gnarly. Those are a few things he explained that could be a cause for, experiencing symptoms like this. He also shared a few products that will help aid the digestive enzymes, just especially for me as I was easing out of a cleanse into having normal foods again. One thing, and I forgot about this because it's good, is ume plum paste. Not the vinegar, not the whole ume plum, it's the paste. And having a half a teaspoon of it right after you eat. It's really, really good at just helping your food digest. It's pretty amazing. And then Valasta. This is Valasta Astaxanthin. I think I'm pronouncing it right. This is also stuff that Mike Perrine of Everyday Detox is obsessed with and talks about. I'm actually going to link not only all these products in the show notes, but I'm also going to link his episode with Sam Shepard, who is the Valasta Astaxanthin guy. I'm going to link those in the show notes. But all you do is you just take the Valasta, and I have these vegan capsules. Put one pump of the Valasta into 3 capsules and take it with very minimal water after you eat. It's the strongest antioxidant you can have. Another thing he suggested is Mary Ruth's digestive enzymes. All you have to do is take 2 or 3 and let them dissolve on your tongue. No water, he said specifically. Again, we'll link that in the show notes as well. So all in all, here are my takeaways from this cleanse. Your senses are going to be heightened and things are going to come up, and that's normal, and it will help you look inward. And that includes coldness. That includes the juices I have. I felt them running through my veins. You literally feel the vitality of this life force that you're putting in your body. There's also just like this euphoric feeling of I can do anything. That really happened to me on day 3. It's pretty amazing how much you can recharge your brain by doing less. Doing this cleanse also gave me just a fantastic sense of self and allowed me to get out of my own way in terms of ego. I didn't have that ego driving me. We all could use that. And ultimately, it's just about finding intrinsic happiness, because we live in a world with so much external stuff, so much external validation that we think we need, but it's really, not to sound corny, is about what comes within. Always know that the best stuff for you is going to be the hardest, and that's exactly how it should be. I really hope this helped. If you have any questions regarding acid reflux or GERD or anything, please feel free to reach out to me, because I'm always here to share with you my journey, all of my self-experimentation, and tips from my own mentors and experts. So I'll see you next time as your gut health bestie.